Senator Klobuchar.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Madam Chair. Mr. Walsh, it is critical, as you've talked about in this hearing, that our safety and security, that we upgrade our aviation system. The NOTAM system outage way back, as you know, caused a delay, major delay, and in July, the FAA confirmed that there's now a backup system in place, but there's still more work to do. Could you talk about the challenges airports and air traffic control have faced when trying to transition away from their old legacy systems?
So I think the National Airspace System Safety Review Team did a great job in their recent report on the topic, and I would highlight some of the things that they said. In particular, it's very difficult right now to turn off the legacy systems once you have built the new system that is intended to replace it. We have a lot of users, in particular, if you read between the lines, the military, that does not easily transition over to newer technology, and FAA is then left holding the bag with two systems rather than one. And then they have to sustain both of those systems rather than focusing entirely on their new system, which again takes up an increasingly large piece of the not growing pie. So I think as our air traffic controllers, our pilots, and our technicians work with these older systems, it makes their life harder. And again, it makes it more upon them to catch things when they go wrong or when these systems have outages.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Mr. Iacopelli, thank you for being here. As you know, we have the shortage of air traffic controllers. We have a major hub in Minnesota. I know how important the air traffic controllers' work is, and we've seen flight disruptions and the like. The bill that we passed back in May with Senator Cantwell's leadership, the FAA Air Traffic Controllers Hiring Act, focused on boosting FAA training capacity. Do you believe that we should focus on training and hiring? How's it going? What's the latest?
Well, thank you for the question, Senator. And absolutely, yes, we need to continue to focus on hiring. We know that the FAA has just met their hiring goal for the fiscal year, and so we're in a new fiscal year. And we, based on the FAA Reauthorization Act, that they're required to do max hiring, and we have partnered with the FAA, I should say, and our public affairs departments to go out and promote that. If you ever scroll through Facebook, you see hundreds of air traffic controllers promoting this profession and how great it is and how much they want people to get in it for two reasons. One, it is a great profession, and two, we need more air traffic controllers. We do need to focus on the training. We have recently agreed with to some new initiatives within the FAA to focus on training, increase the success rate, the TSS provision in the FAA Reauthorization Act, the training simulator. Again, it's a funding issue. It's been authorized. We need the we need the appropriations part, and hopefully the FAA is going to ask for the right amount of money. So again, we're not choosing between which thing is more important. We need all of it.
You know, the air traffic control tower up in Duluth is 70 years old in northern Minnesota. The weather is rather harsh there. We also have a incredible guard base there, and Cirrus is right near there. So there's a lot of it's this great synergy of air travel and air manufacturing. It's one of the 3 oldest towers in the country. It doesn't make the line of sight requirements. It's in need of significant repairs. It actually gets underwater somehow, even though it's on a hill quite a bit. And could you talk, we got some funding for it, but not enough to get it going. So is the biggest obstacle here infrastructure? And just talk about the rural communities. And this isn't even that rural, right? It's quite a big city, Duluth, Minnesota, where Bob Dylan came from.
So we have heard
Biopic is coming out, so I want to get it on everyone's mind.
We have been working, using the bipartisan infrastructure law as the base to go through and look at a lot of our facilities. And I mean, we have our folks sending us pictures of flooded basements, mold, decay. When I mentioned plumbing, just upgrading the plumbing in the facility so that the restrooms and the water work so that our folks who are air traffic controllers can do that. I know up in Alaska, they have space heaters. We've gone through where the air conditioning this past summer in several locations around the country just stopped working. and we had to have our folks in the elevator stopped, and it was 90-plus degrees in the tower, and they had to go to remote sites. So all of those little things in those rural communities, where you don't hear about it, doesn't necessarily make the news, we certainly hear about it. I'm assuming you hear about it from your constituents. So it is an enormous task to go out and upgrade the entire infrastructure of the National Airspace System. And I think Mr. Wall said it, it's not a quick fix. It's not something that happened over the past 3 years. It's something that has been building for 50 years of, if it's not broke, and I forget how you said it, but if it's not broke, we don't need to fix it. If it's working, that's good, let's keep going. And I don't want to take up too much time, but we have radar sites right now that the FAA is going around trying to decommission because they don't have the means by which they can maintain it. That is not improving safety. That is simply a matter of taking down a radar site so you can use those parts someplace else because they don't have the means by which to maintain those radar sites, and that's another big issue we're going through.
Okay, very good. Anything else, Captain, that you'd like to add?
I think Dean covered it pretty well there, but it's an all of the above strategy. We need to keep it working so we can keep moving passengers and cargo, but it's time to make that next leap and finally put the people, the resources, the money in place to move the safest aviation system in the world, but we need to keep it that way and move it forward. So I would agree with everything he said.
Okay, thank you. I'll send questions in writing. There were many things going on today around here, so thank you. Thanks.